Welcome, travelers. For today's video, we will take you to St. Croix, Virgin Islands. We will explore St. Croix and discover the best places to visit, things to do, what to eat, and everything that makes your stay here memorable. One of the most overlooked destinations accessible to Americans is the Virgin Islands. In the U.S. Virgin Islands, there are three major islands: St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix. Today, we were going to explore St. Croix's natural beauties. St. Croix is absolutely worth visiting for its beaches, underwater activities, and interesting history. So, let's start exploring St. Croix, Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Reserve. In the Virgin Islands, St. Croix, there is a national park called Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Reserve. Because you can discover thousands of years of history right here in the Caribbean, this site continues to be a favorite of both tourists and residents. Annalee Bay Tide Pools. The northwest corner of the island has some rocky outcroppings that have been naturally shaped into the Annalee Bay Tide Pools. A morning soak in the quiet, clear waters of the natural basin is worth the tough hike, even if the path to the tide pools is regarded as difficult to strenuous. Montpelier Domino Club. Located just outside of Frederiksted in the tropical rainforest, lies the legendary dive bar known as Montpelier Domino Club. Due to the absurd beer-drinking pigs who live there, it has long been a favorite hangout for both locals and tourists. You can buy a non-alcoholic beer can for a few dollars, then watch as a joyful pig easily crushes the aluminum and slops up the contents. To put it mildly, it's a hilarious and fascinating experience. Point Udall. The easternmost point of the United States is thought to be Point Udall, which is situated on the eastern shore of St. Croix. The Millennium Monument, a sundial constructed in 2000 to commemorate the new millennium, serves as a marker for the location. The sun rises here on U.S. soil for the first time. Visitors come here to check out the breathtaking and serene views of the azure ocean, as well as to be able to declare that they visited the country's easternmost point. Sandy Point National Wildlife Refuge. One of the most beautiful beaches in the region is located at Sandy Point National Wildlife Refuge, which sits directly on the western part of St. Croix. The beach is only open on the weekends and when a cruise ship is in town, so it is not overly busy. Throughout the open season, it is open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. However, due to the turtle nesting season, the beach is blocked from April to August. Christiansted National Historic Site. The Virgin Islands were known as the Danish West Indies under Danish rule from 1733 to 1917, and Christiansted National Historic Site highlights life on St. Croix during that time. The National Park Service is in charge of overseeing the location, which is centered around Fort Christiansvern. The Danish Customs House, Scale House, Danish West India, and Guinea Company Warehouse, and Steeple Building, all of which have significant historical significance, are all accessible for self-guided tours within the region. Buck Island Reef National Monument. In St. Croix, there isn't a finer boat adventure than a sail and snorkel to Buck Island. One of the most picturesque locations in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Buck Island is protected by the federal government and has breathtaking underwater landscape. Regular full-day and half-day cruises that include stops at Buck Island's Turtle Beach and its Elkhorn Coral Barrier Reef leave Christiansted Harbor. Christiansted Boardwalk. The Christiansted Boardwalk is one of the top entertainment areas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Duty-free shopping, a wide variety of bars, restaurants, and cafes, and numerous boat cruises to Buck Island departing from the docks are all available. Estate Whim Sugar Mill. Sugar was king in St. Croix during the height of the Danish West Indies, when the island's hillsides were covered with hundreds of sugarcane plantations. Sugar was grown using slave labor and turned into molasses and rum for exportation all over the world. Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts. The remarkable collection of artwork from various Caribbean islands is on display at the Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts. The group offers workshops and community events in addition to the community center and art gallery. Frederiksted Historic District and Fort Frederick. Built in the 18th century to safeguard Danish interests on St. Croix, Fort Frederick is a fortification. The fort, which overlooked a deep sea bay, kept the island's slave population in line while thwarting pirates, privateers, and other colonial powers. Today, it serves as the focal point of the adjacent museum in Fredriksted's historic district. Estate Mount Washington. One of St. Croix's most illustrious early sugar plantations, Estate Mount Washington was constructed in the 1700s. The property, which formerly covered 160 acres, included a great house, an animal mill, a rum factory, and numerous guest cottages. You can visit the grounds and the beautiful buildings that were left behind today. Ride a horse with Cruzan cowgirls. There isn't a better way to enjoy the beach than on a horse. In St. Croix, you can also go on a horseback riding excursion. Cruzan Cowgirls, a family-run business, will make sure you have a wonderful day riding through one of the most stunning areas on Earth. You may be sure that your trip will ultimately help some lovely horses, because it also serves as a means of generating some revenue to support the abused horses on St. Croix. Ham's Bluff Lighthouse. Another well-liked activity on St. Croix that both tourists and residents love is hiking to the Ham's Bluff Lighthouse. Although the hike is short and strenuous, the scenery is breathtaking. The lighthouse was constructed in 1915, but it was shut down in the 1990s, leaving it in a deteriorating condition today. Drive to the National Guard Training Center in Frederiksted, where there are lots of parking spaces to access the route. So what do you think of our video? Please comment down below and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more future updates here on Globe Tripia channel. Thank you for watching.